We have been studying this year from our overarching theme of Fill My Cup. And Sean has had lessons on emptying our cup, filling our cup back up, and then being able to help others fill their cup. We're going to touch on each of those this morning a little bit. This morning, we want to focus on emptying our cups of negativity during this transition period that was alluded to this morning. The Jeffries are gone. Today is our first Sunday without them. We love them, we miss them. They've done a good job here. Sean was a wonderful preacher for 6 years. And we have reasons to be negative about his leaving. We do. We're going to have to listen to others preach. We're going to have to listen to others preach for a while. Who will be the new preacher? We don't know. We're on the case, but we don't know yet. Will we like him? I hope so, but we don't know that yet. We're worried about that. We're nervous about that. We may be a little negative about that. Do the elders know what they're doing? No comments there. We're nervous about those things. We don't know what tomorrow may bring. We don't. Of course, we've never known that, but certainly with the way we are now, we don't know what tomorrow will bring. But we know this. Jesus is in tomorrow already. He and his Father. So while we may not understand those things, he does. And it will work out. We're a blessed church. Our Bible classes are good. Our members care for one another. And God's work does not depend on one man or group of men. It doesn't. And God will get us safely home. He will. So, yes, we're in a transition period. Yes, we're in a little bit of a nervous period. But it's going to be all right. I couldn't find filling cups of anything other than coffee. But in spite of that, we're going to use that anyway. Now, we're going to empty our cups of negativity. And you noticed on that cup, and based on what John was reading, the inside of that cup was still stained and dirty. It's one thing to clean the outside of the cup. We have to dig deep inside and clean the inside as well so that we can fill our cups. We can do the following. We can be, and I misspelled Barnabas. It's Barnabas, not Barnabas. We can be a Barnabas. Barnabas was an encourager. That's what his name meant, an encourager. We can encourage one another. We can look around at one another and notice changes in behavior where maybe we can help that person. We talked about a little bit this morning in our class about being a friend. Be a Barnabas. We can be genuine members. What does that mean? We can check on one another. We can provide rides for one another like the Nelsons do and others. We can provide food and help for one another. Church is really good about that. We can help the elders, look around and see what needs to be done. Hebrews 10 verse 24 says that we should consider one another in order to stir up love and good works. We're to consider one another, help one another, stir up one another for good works. You can do your work. I can do my work. You may ask, what is my work? I don't know that, but you can find it. We all have talents. We can do something. We can be a Barnabas. You can say a good word or an encouraging word to people. You can do that. Everybody can do that. Find out what your work is. Clean your cup of negativity and get to work. We can provide for others. This church is so good about providing for others, helping others, looking after others. Continue to do that. We can do that in our cup. Talked about we can help the elders, we can help the deacons. We can pray for one another, as John mentioned this morning in our class, and Joan. We can pray for one another. And we saw the effectiveness of prayer this morning, even with the prophet, the king Hezekiah. Remember that? It works. Prayer works. Pray for this just as it just did. Pray for success of the preacher search. Pray for wisdom for the elders that we can make the right call. Pray for one another. Get busy. As Linda mentioned this morning, it was a great comment. Sometimes we can be paralyzed into inactivity. Get up and get busy. It'll take the focus off of you and on others where it belongs. We can do that. We can fill our cup with these things. We can fill others' cups, and we should. It's required. We can shift our focus from ourselves, and we love that focus, and shift it to other people. We can be good examples to emulate as we fill others' cups. People are watching. They watch what we do and they watch what we don't do. Be a good example to others so that they can fill their cup with good things based on some of the things that you may do. Look for opportunities to study, to stand in Jan's credit on Thursday night. They have opened their home up for Bible study. Did you get permission for that, Stan? You don't need permission for that. Have Bible studies. Look around. Study with small groups. Have them into your home. Here's a night, maybe even cook dinner for them. Oh no, don't do that. Look for opportunities to study with brothers and sisters. We can fill others' cups by doing those kinds of things. Look for opportunities. They're there. Invite people into our homes. We all have our ups and downs, hot and cold with that. Get hot again during this period and even after we get our new preacher. Start having people into your homes. Have sandwiches, whatever. Have a Bible study. And you don't necessarily have to have your best friends. That's easy. Anybody can do that. Have people maybe that you don't know very well into your home. Well, my home, it's not that. We lived in a $50 a month apartment when we first got married, and that was a little bit overpriced. We had a card table and 4 chairs, and they were given to us. We were not smart enough to know that we're not supposed to have people in our homes, because that's how we grew up with our families. So we had people in, we might have had bologna sandwiches and sat on card tables, but you can do it. There's no excuses. Well, forget it, doesn't work. Excuses. We can show empathy for others. Fill our cups, fill others' cups with empathy. The Dan Gatlin and all that's going on in Kerrville. We have a tremendous amount of empathy, and we're going to reach out to see how we can help as individuals and as a church. As individuals, we already have. Show empathy for others. You may be there one day, needing that yourself. We've all been there too. We can pay it forward. That's a modern day kind of term, pay it forward. Let me back that up. Well, I'm going to leave it there. Let you wonder about that a second. Pay it forward. When I was a young kid, low teens, 11, 12, 13, there was a deacon in our church in Bowling Green that, his name was Russell Cassidy, long dead. And he took an interest in this little punk kid. I don't know why, but he did. He taught me how to wait on the Lord's table and other things. He was filling my cup. When we first got married, we lived in a place called Scottsville, Kentucky, where Emma and Trevor actually are living. That's interesting. One of the elders there, her name was Jack Turner. Jack and Helen, well-to-do people. We had a quarter, a little more than that, but we didn't have much. Every Sunday, they would invite us to their home, and anything to get out of that apartment, we were good to go. Went to their home. They always served lunch, and then we played games in there. They had a very nice place. We played games out in their garage they had finished. I remember that. There was an old brother and sister, White. You didn't dare call an old person by their first name when I was a kid, ever. My mother would slap your face off. Brother and sister White, they celebrated their 50th anniversary when we were married. Now, that's how long ago it's been. And they took us under their wings and showed us the way. Can you pay it forward? We have tried our best the last 54 years to do that. And people will remember you after you're gone because of that. Look around. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about others. Speak to the little children. Pat them on the head. Well, maybe you don't do that now, but they used to pat you on the head. Never liked that. In the South, we liked to play tricks. We weren't destructive, but we played tricks on folks and on animals. And we found that we'd find a turtle and we'd put it on a fence post. Now, one thing you know for sure, that turtle needed help to get on that fence post. And people would come by and they'd see that turtle and well, somebody's playing a trick. That turtle didn't get up there by itself. Somebody helped put the turtle on the fence post. Pay it forward. You don't accidentally get to where you are later in life without help. Without help. Be a helper. Be a helper. Don't wait to be helped. Too much of that. Be a helper. Put that turtle on the fence. Well, you better not do that one. That was a great prank, by the way. And notice this, we all need encouragement at times, do we not? Anybody in here never, ever needed encouragement. You know who needs encouragement now? The elders. We do. And other people as well. People are going through medical tests, people are going through all kinds of cancers, are going through all these things, struggles in their lives. Find somebody and encourage them this week. Take the spotlight off of ourselves and put it on somebody else. Your family will be there. Find somebody else to encourage. Final tips and takeaways. God is still on his throne. Even during times of when negative things happen, things aren't going maybe as well as they could or should, God is right where he's always been, on his throne, large and in charge. Don't worry about it. Jesus is still the head of his church, sitting at God's right hand. He's the head of this church. He'll make it happen. Acts chapter 1. You remember they were looking for the replacement for Judas? And they cast their lots. Who chose Matthias? The apostles? No. They laid some people out before God. They did their due diligence. They cast their lots, if you will. What does that mean? I don't know. But they cast their lots, and God chose the one he wanted. Now, I know this. We know this. We're going to, we've done a lot of due diligence. We're going to run some people by the Lord. And he's going to say, just like David, remember when David, all those brothers came through? No, not that one, not that one. Was there any more? Well, we got little shepherd boy over here. Well, bring him out. That's who I choose. God will choose who we need here at this church, not only for us, but for him and his family. Is it going to be good for them as well as good for us? Romans 8, verse 28. This is what it means. All things work out for God's glory. And oh, by the way, our good. God will always get the glory, and he'll make things so that he receives the glory, and it'll be for our good. Has God ever let you down? Never let me down, even during dark times. He will not let you down. That was kind of a potpourri of emptying our cups, filling our cups, and filling others' cups. We're in a transition period. We may be a little down right now, psychologically and mentally, with Sean being gone, and Gigi, and the kids. We are. But you can take it to the bank. It's going to be fine. We're going to have the right man and his family here one of these days, and we're going to move on with the program. That's the way it works. That's the way God wants it to work. God's on our side. if you're not a Christian, he still loves you. But you're not on his side yet. If you like a Bible study, you've come to the right place. We can do that with you, for you. If you need to be baptized for the remission of your sins, you can do that this morning. You do it right now. We can fix that. You can leave here a free person. And you can go to sleep tonight in peace. So if we can help you in any way, won't you come forward while Greg leads our...